Hi, I'm Arthur Brooks. Welcome to Global Reports on Liberty TV here in our Kaduna studios. Note, the programme day and time is now Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Welcome to our viewers in Nigeria on Star Times, GoTV and Free TV and TSTV, and viewers across West Africa on Strong Decoder and Multi TV, and to our many friends worldwide streaming on the internet on Facebook and YouTube, hopefully live. As usual, we follow trending and popular news stories from around the world from the past week. Our guests this week are Professor Khalifa Dikwa and Ferdinand Okonkwo. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you for having me back.
Thank you. Thank you, Oyebo.
And first story is last night, in fact, President Donald Trump rejected the agreement reached with Iran over the nuclear issue, which was by his predecessor Barack Obama and a number of other countries, including the UK and France. Watch this report from BBC, I think.
The Iran deal is defective at its core. If we do nothing, we know exactly what will happen. In just a short period of time, the world's leading state sponsor of terror will be on the cusp of acquiring the world's most dangerous weapons. Therefore, I am announcing today that the United States will withdraw from the Iran nuclear deal.
Professor Khalifa, how do you take this?
Let me say that this was the least expected decision by the United States of America, having been a leader all the world for decades and so on. That is the number one country in the world in terms of development and economy, and that agreement was signed in 2015 by the world powers, including two veto-holding powers of Russia and China. And therefore, it was unexpected for a country like America to have pulled out. We expected that it would just mellow down with the coming of Boris Johnson of Britain, Foreign Secretary, the German Angela Merkel, and so on, including President Macron. They went there to lobby so that America stayed there.
Stayed in the deal.
That is exactly. So agreed, if America had problems with certain things, the flaws, the so-called flaws, it would have been better to remain within and then control so that you could come up with the challenges and so on, doing it. Now with the pulling out, exactly, America shot itself in the foot. In the sense that America, since the coming of Donald Trump, he was virtually just playing to the gallery of his little constituency that rejects everything that the world agrees upon. That is the little far-right extremist that now with NAFTA in the past, he said no. Paris Agreement on climate change. All the countries of the world agreed, and then America alone says no. It means that from now on, with those agreements reneged earlier on, made European allies and indeed the entire world to look elsewhere now to say that after all, we are no longer protected, because if we sit down and decide together and then America decides to stab us, it means America is no longer reliable, particularly under President Donald Trump. And therefore, there is nothing that will now guarantee that whatever decision or agreement you sign into with America will stand, including the North Korean meeting with Kim. It means that Kim is not necessarily bound now, yes, is no longer bound to trust America that it will not renege in whatever agreement they come across, in particular about the nuclear deal and so on. That was a nuclear deal that was signed by everybody, and with the IEA that was just inside there. It means the area now, Middle East is now will get heated up in the sense that the risk is that Donald Trump spoke on behalf of Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel,
yes.
and you know the position of Israel again, and supported by Saudi Arabia. And it means now the entire world is coming to grips with the suggestion by Donald Trump again to move its U.S. embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. That is again another big trouble for the world. And that is an insult to the United Nations, to the European Union, and so on. And therefore, if that one goes, it means the risk is that Iran, that has now influence over Iraq, Syria, southern border of Saudi Arabia, that is Yemen already, and that it is likely to endanger that the citizens of the peaceful citizens of Israel are endangered by their own government.
Their own governments.
Yes.
Ferdinand, would you like to make a comment here?
My brother, my friend has said it. You know very well that I'm not a friend of Trump. You know, from the one.
We know that.
I don't know. The more I try to get close and get, used to him, the more he surprises me.
Yeah.
The more I try to become a friend, the more he gives me reason to be an enemy. So, it's still part of it. There is, if American system of governance have been like this for the past 50 years, successive government coming simply with the intention of subverting whatever
everything
the other government had done. What do you think the world would have been today?
Wow.
That is a big problem.
Yes.
Everything that had been done in America prior to the arrival of Donald Trump.
But what I don't understand is what motivates. What is really motivating him? Is it his base?
His own
is it his
base.
friendship with Israel?
Israel, that's all. Americans, the Republicans in particular, place the state of Israel over and above America. And they think that America is an errant country for Israel because of the lobby, that the Jewish lobbies and so on, who are now possessors of NRA, that is the National Rifle Association, where those lobbies and so Republicans will prefer to go to war in order to sell arms and so on. Not knowing that these things have changed since the real expose by WikiLeaks of Assange, and then by ex-intelligence agents like Snowden and so on. America is now exposed, and all these things, tricks are known, and now including in the past that Israel attacked the American ship in order to create war between America and other countries. This series of things are now out there, no longer
in the public domain.
In the public domain. And since 9/11 and so on, so many things are now in the battlefield. So Donald Trump is just poised to filibuster virtually everything done before. And therefore, perhaps, the way they said, when God wants to punish you, he makes a man to make you mad. And therefore, America never expected to have a president like Donald Trump, but it's good for the developing country that they will have now a sigh of relief to now do their own business instead of African countries always relying on aid here and there and so on. Disturbing coming into our internal affairs and so on. Now they have a full cup there of tea, and they have a lot on their own plate to now, because this is a president who fires the secretary of foreign secretary
at will.
And so at will he fires his own chief of staff. He fires virtually everybody the way he did his business in the past. And therefore this is now an opportunity for European allies to have the freedom, because in the past European countries were free, but then during the World War, America with the connivance of Israel bombed all those countries, humiliated them and enslaved them. At that time there was enough money to give them again to rebuild, therefore enslaving them indirectly to follow whatever America
Marshall
wanted.
Plan, yeah.
Now the game has changed. America is broke just like like Britain, and simply because they don't talk about it, they have economic problem. And in 2008, about the economic meltdown, America nearly went down.
Yes, of course.
If not for the change that came and the experts in the cabinet of Barack Obama, America will have gone down the drain. Now, if care is not
caused by their own people, by the bankers
the bankers and so on. Actually, the entire world is being ruled by Wall Street, the bankers. You have my brother Ferdinand Okonkwo has his own grains, millets, and so on. But then somebody somewhere decides the price and sells it and so on. If it doesn't work, it will crash the price.
Crash the price, punish you.
So that is it. It is coming to something very interesting now.
I said,
we are now happy that European countries now are turning to other places, notably China with its road and belts, with Russia that suffered all this conspiracy of American and Israel in the past and so on, creating wars all over the world and so on. This is now an opportunity to challenge. America may have to in the future beg or even approach individual countries to do business the way Britain is likely to do so, because of the arrogance of that, and Britain refused to even use euro. Remain with the pound sterling. The dollar that we are talking about is a printed paper. It's not based on dollars like not on gold like China and other countries. So it was just an imposition.
Well, we said last week that empires come, empires go. Maybe it's time for the American empire to finally fall. Yes.
Yeah, that is the essence.
The possibility of another country taking over.
Little North Korea is now challenging. America cannot attack anything. It is
China's on its way.
China
Obviously, it's going to be
virtually above all economically. China doesn't talk, doesn't harass people, doesn't intimidate other nations. China does not interference, and then China treats you as equal. But that does not mean that we should open our doors.
Yes, of course.
It doesn't mean that we should open our doors and then to be dumping ground for China. China's 1.4 billion or so. Imagine, that is the way I say, why is it that Nigeria is a huge market? After all, 200 million were not too many for the untapped resources. China with on 1.4 feeds itself, doesn't import food, doesn't import medicine. And then they are on their own. They closed the door, blocked the corruption, mega corruption from infiltrating, and so on, blocked everything outside, and they said our language first. Therefore, I find out that even English language is more corruptive and enslaving. That you have some people, when they are very good at that language, they tend to believe that they are more Oyobo than the Oyobos themselves. I have a friend from Switzerland who is more African than Africans, because she knows the how Africa has been underdeveloped. If you have perhaps come across the book of Patrick Wilmot, who was deported.
Oh yes, Patrick Wilmot.
By Nigeria, we see by Nigeria, but indirectly it was not Nigeria, it was the developed countries. The same developed countries filibustered the near completed project that will have put Nigeria at par with its own contemporary Singapore, even India and so on. Ajakuta, for instance, was nearly completed, but the same countries, notably America, Britain, France, etc., forget it, destroy it. But if you want to go and buy from us,
gentlemen,
what is our independence?
Unfortunately, we need to move on.
Thank you.
We can talk about this one. I'm sure we will talk about this one. Last week, the BBC, that's the British Broadcasting Corporation, broadcast a documentary reports about the epidemic of drug abuse by young men and girls in Nigeria using this prescription codeine. Now, this video was shown extensively in Nigeria, and it has been talk of the town, as it were, even to the extent the federal government has now banned codeine from being imported. Let's show a short extract from this video.
I thought chains were a thing of the past, but not in this rehab center in northern Nigeria. People here are chained to the floor to prevent them from being violent. Some have mental illnesses, but many of them are like this because of a specific drug. A deadly, largely hidden epidemic that is sweeping across Nigeria. People all over the world are addicted to cough syrup with codeine. It's a medicine that has become a street drug. A sweet, sweet strawberry taste that makes you high and hooks you. Over time, it will kill you. In just 2 states, the government says 3 million bottles are consumed every single day. It's not hard to find Nigeria's boys getting their syrup high. It's not hard to find Nigeria's syrup girls either. Even religious women drink it.
It's a very serious situation, and it's been there for a long time, and it's been developing. I notice even myself when I walk sometimes in the morning to my office, I look at the side of the road, you see dozens and dozens of these bottles. Ferdinand, this is in a way, because you're involved with young people, you come across this problem?
I am frightened. Why? Because I don't know whether we are just waking up to see this. I don't know. These have been with us for a long, very long time. I can remember when Emi of Zaza, during the last election of 2011, warned that if nothing is done to check drug abuse.
2011.
2011.
Yes.
If nothing is done to check drug abuse, that Nigeria will lose its value in the next 20 years. And that's the truth of the matter. This, my fear is the approach. This is it. We are with it already. It's here.
That's right.
We can't run away from it.
We can't run away.
All do we do? What do we do? Sit down, marshal our plan on how to confront this matter. This ad hoc method, anytime any issue is raised, you see people rushing to do something just to be seen as doing something. It will not take us anywhere.
That's why we have problems.
Yes,
we know there's a
problem.
problem.
Yes.
We see the problem.
What do we do?
But nobody does anything.
We just wake up one day and ban codeine.
That's right.
What we will achieve with that, when our borders are still porous.
Exactly.
When everywhere you can even import this codeine in the glare eyes of the security men.
Exactly.
As long as you have that box to dish out.
Exactly.
So what do you think we're doing? We must have to start a fundamental work. There is a problem with our youths. These are the next generation. What do we hope to have in the next 20, 30 years? This same set
They are
of people,
expected to take over from us.
Yeah.
they are to take over from. Look at this same set of people. Look, somebody said, if you have your child trained in Harvard and you bring him back to Nigeria to be surrounded with this set of people, he would rather be like them or run away. There will be no two ways.
Yes.
There is no way you can stay. You can't stay anywhere to say you dominate this kind of crap. It is impossible.
But isn't the underlying problem the unemployment and the...
You see, the emergency is about idleness. Idleness. This thing has been with us for long, but look at, I listened to the minister on NTA last night, and I listened to the arguments and so on with the coming up. I find it ridiculous. Ridiculous in the sense that the minister might have been ill-advised. Why should you just ban something overnight? Why not work it in such a way as to withdraw it quietly
Gradual
from the
withdrawal.
market.
Making
Now,
a big fuss when
by making it
situations
sudden, it
are-
means
yeah,
you are making
yeah.
some people rich.
Yeah.
Who
of course,
knows?
yeah.
Those who knows
have
might be
stockpiled
those
this
stockpiled all
thing
these
which
things
used
to
to
make
be-
money.
Bottle was 150 naira.
Yes,
Today,
150.
Now it's 1,000.
Now
1,500. And it's
now it'll
just
be-
going up.
2,000.
And security-wise,
going up.
Mr. Brooks, security-wise is a problem because addicts, you can't stop addicts overnight like that.
It's impossible.
And
It means that they
yeah.
can go to any
Any length to
extent
raise that money
to
and
raise
to
that
hide.
money,
And this
including
is an
harassing and
addictive drug.
attacking.
This is a very addictive drug.
Including
destructive,
harassing and
yeah.
attacking. After all, in some parts of the north, you see young men now attacking, harassing ladies with expensive
yeah,
phones.
yeah.
They take away a
In
phone of
broad daylight.
30,000 or so, broad daylight, to go and sell it just to buy this
drugs.
thing.
Codeine.
So it means banning it overnight does not
not
work.
solve the problem,
First
yeah.
of all, keep them active, i.e. in school or having something to do. And again, with a lot of campaign, intensive campaign about the dangers of taking this
And they
drug.
say even the rich, even the sons and
The
daughters
sons
of the
of
rich people
big people
are
and so
also
on, they are spoiled.
involved in
Have you
this.
been
They
to
are
Kano?
spoiled. Even the,
Yeah. Oh
my
even
God.
married women are now in that when the husband is no longer there, they have their phone. They will call the fellow to bring. For what reason? They say that's one of the ways we try to forget about the problems of Nigeria, the economic problems of Nigeria. Agreed, and I say the banning, the overnight banning is suspicious to me.
Yeah.
Suspicious to me because it is going to make people rich overnight with the poorest bodies, even if it is not sold in the
Within the country.
it can
It will be imported by
smuggled
the
in.
same people who banned it.
Well, we saw. Well, you didn't see on this video, but if you watch the longer report, you would see that
Yes.
the undercover
So
people.
why wait for
with the
BBC to report it
pharmaceuticals,
before
yeah.
talking about it?
Exactly.
The Nigerian
We are here.
journalists have been
BBC,
talking
can
about
you-
it for long.
There was a day.
It's not the first time we've-
Yes, we've been
AIT
talking about it,
yes.
even here on
It has
Liberty.
not been long. People have been shouting that we have a problem on hand. This is a big problem, bigger than what we are fighting today as insecurity.
The same thing.
This is a big problem. We didn't listen
We didn't.
until the day BBC
You know
came and
this thing-
did an undercover. You woke up one day
they woke
and
up
banned
from
it.
the slumber.
Why is it that we always rule for the
I'm telling you,
outsiders,
from
not
outside,
for the people in
that is
Nigeria?
exactly.
We always want to impress
They
the people
dictate-
there.
Until we
No,
get
they
exposed.
dictate right in here.
They dictate policies from outside the country in order
Anytime
to
anybody
hit up the
sneezes
politics.
from outside,
They-
we
then
will
they
come
do
here
it.
and begin to react quickly.
This inferiority complex of the elite that we have.
Simple, very simple. Inferiority complex. Now you have banned it, you want to show force, you want to show power. What do you have on ground to control?
How can they?
You live in that your secured
Exactly.
area, and you leave the
pretend these
masses
things don't
pretend that things
with
don't
this
happen.
kind of catastrophe. People are now going to look for that money by all means
And
to
they'll
buy
be in
it.
their big houses, and outside the gates, these things are
They are
happening.
saying, Mr. Brooks, it is so painful that we sent some journalists to do some investigation and so on. We discovered, Mr. Okonkwo, that small girls of 14, 15 follow men for half a bottle.
Yes.
Half a bottle for that matter. A woman that is respected and put over and above a man in terms of mother and so on, now becoming so cheap for that thing. And therefore pulling out of it must have been, or ought to have been gradual. I still believe that the way they have done it is wrong.
Yeah,
And
it's
I faulted the
fanfare,
minister. I still
yeah.
continue to
Yeah.
fault him.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't know much. Maybe he had some.
It's a
some people who
knee-jerk
were-
reaction.
It's an
Yeah.
immediate
Maybe he's
reaction.
overwhelmed.
Why are we always reacting rather than taking proactive measures and doing it?
to
So
correct
the
some
same
of these
thing.
things when they are coming up.
Exactly. That
We are
you-
here with it.
You have to do
We
this.
have been here with it.
It's just like
we have
corruption.
been growing with it. Today, somebody just sneezes from outside, and you wake up and put a blanket back. Let's see where this ban will take us to.
And
We
this-
have all agencies fighting this drug issue.
NDLA, custom,
NDLA, all of them, they are there.
They can't.
But
they are overwhelmed.
What are they going
We
to
have
do?
over
Look at
1,000 routes porous
Yeah,
routes
across the borders, yeah.
across the borders.
A country where
If
you
you
have
stop
over
it-
3 million bottles.
If you
consumed in a day.
blanket the thing within Nigeria, what about the borders?
And that doesn't even take into account the fake drugs which are coming in.
The same thing with tramadol and so on. Those things have been with us. You can't do it just overnight and just behave as a minister or governor will just say that
Every day
wake
you
up.
have been sleeping,
the morning and
you have
sleep.
been in slumber,
Policy
you just
should be
woke up
set,
one
as you
day.
say, a policy,
Policy should be
formulated, set into process.
Yes, and look at the repercussions, how it will happen and so on if we do it. Why not just pull it gradually out, reduce the potency of it, and perhaps change the name gradually out of the market completely. After all,
Phase
when
it
the
out.
doctors like Dr. Meromandra and so on were saying this thing should have been banned, and I agreed. Why didn't they do it gradually? The
There's
way
something
the
called
doctors
prescription.
have been talking
There's
about
something called prescription. Any drug on prescription, only a doctor can sign.
Exactly.
for it.
But how many doctors do we have?
In this country?
60% of
Prescription here.
our medical doctors are
It
abroad.
works in UK,
Of
but
the
it doesn't work here.
Prescription.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
We don't have doctors. If we go to public hospitals, you hardly get one doctor to 1,000 people.
Exactly.
And they are overwhelmed. You can't get them.
Well,
they are
gentlemen,
not there.
Gentlemen, this issue is going to trend. I can see
I
it's
will
going to
condemn.
continue.
We just
we
condemn it.
hope
Somebody
something is
should
done.
tell the minister that we are not happy with the sudden decision of doing it like
I
that.
simply
They are
believe
too
that
elitist and perhaps doing the
they
job of
should know
somebody
one
else.
thing. They should know one thing. The more this trouble continues, the more this crisis continues, one day
And
it will overwhelm.
we are getting to
One
2019.
day,
And
gentlemen, take
again,
over there.
again, after my last point, my last word is that we are lucky that we didn't have guns in the past.
Yeah.
Now with the proliferation of guns,
yeah.
and then these drugs and so on. What
Our
if
time is up.
if this one is down?
Yeah.
What about other intoxicants?
Gentlemen, we've run out of time.
They're
I've
also
got to
there.
close you with that. I'm sorry. Again, time's against us. So thanks to my guests,
Yes.
our cameraman, the crew in the control room, and the Global Reports production team. This is me, Arthur Brooks. Join me again next week. Have a great week. And thank you, gentlemen, for joining us in the studio. I wish we had more time.
Thank you.
And keep
Thank you
watching
for having
Global
us.
Reports and Liberty Television.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.